All right, welcome everyone. This is a Viper Professional Training and Support webinar. Today's date is April 30th, 2018. This is a Monday night webinar, and the title of tonight's webinar is How to Use BarClose for Great Trades and Add-ons. And as everyone knows that's been to our webinars or our live trading room, everything that we say and do at Viper Trading Systems is for educational purposes only. Futures trading, Forex trading, any kind of financial instruments trading involves risk. Therefore, there's always risk of loss. You should only trade discretionary capital, and that is money that you can afford to lose. Nothing said in this webinar, other webinars we have, our live trading room, or anything else with Viper Trading Systems should never be construed as trading or investment advice. And as always, everyone does trade at their own sole discretion. Any questions on the disclaimer? If not, we're going to go ahead and get started. Bear with me a second. I'm going to show you a screen here. Now, if a person's here on like an invite or a trial, you don't actually have access to this particular page here, but you will as a member. But this is a members area, for our people to get training and things like that. So basically, what I'm going to be talking about tonight is going to be the object trader. And here's a little video on it right here. This is called the Object Trader Video ebook. And what we're going to be talking about tonight is down here underneath region, scrolling, and we're talking about bar close trades. How to activate a long bar close, how to activate a short, how to use the auto bar close and cautions about it, and how to use the bar close to scale in. That was add-on trades that I was talking about. We're also going to talk about scaling out too. Okay, so we're going to get to all of that tonight, and hopefully you'll come away with a little appreciation for bar close trades. Okay, and by the way, just a real quick to let you know, we are in the process of getting the trades to where, if you put like long enabled, short enabled, and you get filled one direction, it is going to go ahead and turn off the other one. Okay, except in auto mode. All right, and I'll show you a 1, 2, 3 reversal too, Mindy. Absolutely. Let me go ahead and get into this rest of this, and I'll go over that just as soon as we get to those charts. Now, real quick, just so everybody gets a little refresher course, be sure and pause this, when you're actually watching this video, because it is extremely important to draw on your charts. Okay, I recommend drawing wedges, ellipses, boxes, lines, rays, what direction the trade's going to go, and even channels. Okay, it's up to you how many of these you want to use, but I highly recommend if you get used to it. Now, if you were in the room this morning, I called a trade on gold, and I mean, it hit exactly where I said, and several did also on oil and Russell. And the way we do that is drawing on our charts. So it's extremely important to draw on your charts. I'm not going to go into all of this detail on this because we'll talk about that in other webinars, but just be sure and pause this for a moment, if you're watching this recorded, that is, and be sure to look at this. Okay, let me go ahead and go to the next chart. Okay, now we've got some new people that have come in, so basically what I want to take is about 5 minutes and just explain what an identified swing is, because what we're going to be trading tonight is going to be based on identified swings and where the trade should end up getting us into a trade. Okay, so what I'm going to do here real quick, let's just go ahead and put this in drawing mode for just a few minutes. And I'm going to go ahead and do like a little white one here just so everybody can see it. And I want to show everybody, and my cursor, by the way, is cyan tonight. So, I could change the color of it if you wanted, but you can see it moving on the chart. Okay, everybody that's been with Viper for any amount of time, that when you're looking at micro trend, okay, see my little cursor going up and down the scale here, that when these little swings are identified is when it simply takes out the swing to the left. Identified swing takes out the swing to the left. Identified swing takes out the swing to the left. Identified swing takes out the swing to the left. See, everybody should be getting that, right? All you got to do to get an identified swing is just like that. Take out the previous swing to the left, and you've got you an identified swing. Higher lows means that it's trending upward. Okay? Real easy to see. Let's see, much easier to see cursor than in your previous website. Okay, yeah, it's definitely a much better cursor. Okay, so with the same deal that I just did here, okay, and looking to the left to trade the right, now, wouldn't you say this is your identified swing where I'm at right now because it crossed over here, all right? You've got a little double top, but did this swing actually get taken out by very much right through here? This is the type of trades you're looking for, by the way, on our little box in trades, where you get that nice, back up again. That's these retracement trades that we teach all the time. Okay, and we're doing it based on these micro swings. Now this is called Lightning 2 right here, and it works virtually the same way. You have a low here only because this high was taken out. This is not a low. You don't know that's a low until it takes this out right here. Okay, once it takes that out, that is an established low. And we look at it like with a closed bar. If you want to look at it with a closed bar plus, you can do that too. Okay, notice that this swing was a little higher than this one, so this is still an uptrend, isn't it? So when's this swing identified? When it took out that swing right there. And it did right there. When's this swing identified? When it took out that swing right there. Very easy to teach yourself to trade this way, and then throw in a few indicators where you can see the direction of the trend and everything, and you'll be, a professional trader in no time with our software. Okay, let's go ahead and go to the regular charts. Now, did everybody see pretty much what I'm talking about there on identified swings? Anybody miss anything on that? Because identified swings is what's going to make the difference in your bottom line. I can tell you that for a fact, because to give an example, by drawing on your charts, that gold trade that I called in the room hit exactly at that line and popped up from there, and was a very, very good trade. And you can learn to see these same things on your chart just by teaching yourself to see these identified swings. They come in the form of Lightning 1. That's your really fast 4 range. They come in the form of Lightning 2, which is more a little bit larger swings, because it has to have at least 2 bars go one direction or the other, because it's got a swing strength of 2. And this swing right here has a swing strength of 15. So, for instance, when it breaks that top, sorry I missed it just a little bit, but you see the top. This swing right here was identified when this was taken out. So if you were looking at this chart right here, wouldn't you expect right now that this would have to be taken out to head down? And the answer would be yes. But what if it did something like this, then started breaking, and didn't bounce off of here? Yeah, you could then be shorting breaks. Okay, let's go ahead and go to the chart here real quick. Seems like screen is frozen. Hopefully not. Everybody seeing this, everything that I drew here? Everybody else is saying they're seeing it, but I'll go back if I need to. Okay, now that was just a little quick lesson on identified swings, but I can tell you this, that if you'll learn to see these identified swings in real time, it will keep you in a trade for the gusto. To give an example, let's say you were trading oil. Okay, this is, way back in 12/16 when I did this chart. But if you were trading oil here, for instance, let's just pretend that was like 64. What's that? About 64.40? More than likely, right? So couldn't you still be riding this trade up as it just kept doing that? Sure. And that's the whole idea of putting your stops underneath the swings. Okay, let's go ahead and go to our webinar type charts. And I want to ask everybody to diagnose this chart. And it's a little bit of a tricky one, because I'm going to ask you to do it by the power meters. Okay, everybody in here know what the power meters are? The power meter, what I was just showing just a second ago with lightning, this little lightning swings and everything, these are your power meters right here. Lightning 3, lightning 1, lightning 2, and even lightning 4. So when I say what direction is the trend going, what direction is the trend going? What direction is the trend going? Everybody see that? Oh, they're great, David, on your question. I'll give you an example of why this is already, basically a downtrend. Now, we've got a little bit of not being able to see the last parts of the swing. So let's draw them. Let's just see what it looks like. Let's draw lightning 2. All right, there's lightning 2. And that's a high, a low, a lower high. That's lightning. We'll go ahead and draw it here. That's lightning 2. Okay. Now what this did here is this is picking up on, whether this is actually heading down on lightning 3. And it is, because it's actually breaking these lows. Everybody see that low right there? Everybody see this low right here? Whoop, I'm going to the wrong chart to draw on. Can't do that. Let's go ahead and draw it. Right, that's right across there is fine. Everybody see that? Okay. So if you were going to trade this chart, what direction would you want to be trading it? And the answer is to the short side, right? Well, let's look at the actual charts and see if that verifies what we're talking about here. It's absolutely down. Let's go ahead and I'm going to get both charts on here so you can see we've got a gold and crude. Bear with me 1 second, I'll get them both up. I think I've got them both on a 4 range. Let me find out. Gold, 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 gold. Gold's actually on a Renko, so I'm going to draw a gold chart real quick. It won't take a second. Bear with us a second. I'll have it up there for you. Should be about right. All right. Now look, just the way we diagnosed it is actually true. Now this hasn't kicked in just yet because I just drew this chart, because it has to have a bar close before that last one's kick in. Okay. But if you were actually getting ready to trade this, wouldn't you be looking for a resistance kiss? I can see, for instance, that it's kissed resistance right here. It hasn't kissed resistance right here, but it is right now. See right across there? It's kissing it. So a real quick question would be, could you use bar close on a trade like this? And if you look to the left to trade the right, you have to check and see where they've checked. It's extremely important. This is the closest left right here. This is in proximity to the left. And they're looking at these lightning 3 swings most of the time. Okay? And those lightning 3 swings are on your chart with these little dots. Okay? Now what you can do, if you would like, would be to use a little bit larger bar and use the Object Traders bar close auto, to give an example. Let me show you what I'm talking about here. Here's gold right here on a little bit larger chart. This is a 3-6 Object Trader Renko. Okay, so right now I'm looking for a kiss right here. They haven't kissed here. I went ahead and drew the line just a few minutes ago because I saw it. Okay, but that's where I would be looking for this trade to actually come to fruition, wouldn't you? Wouldn't you think that it would? Well, let's find out. Let's just see if everything I'm saying here works out. And we don't have to just jump in at willy-nilly, by the way. Okay, I'm going to put this on a little bit more than 3 just so I can use an auto feature. Okay, I like to usually do anywhere around 5, and that's not a bad little figure to set your default at when you're in auto, because you want to make sure you don't go above that. You don't want to set it for like 20, because if you were in auto mode, you could get 20 contracts. You don't want to do that. All right, so we'll set it on 5. We'll set it in replay mode, and we're on true. Okay, now The bar close trade is not like anybody that was here last week. I taught the region trade for the entire hour last week. Okay, region has to have a T and a B, a top and a bottom. Okay, a bar close does not have to have this. So you don't even care if these are turned off. It's not going to matter on bar close. Okay, because bar close is just simply long enabled, short enabled, reverse enabled if you want to reverse. That's how easy a bar close trade is to do. Okay, so I'm going to leave these inactive just so you can see it. So bar close, we're looking at a short if we get resistance. All right, and let's go ahead and use a little feature that we've got called auto. Okay, I'm going to put this on auto. You'll notice that the little auto trading flashes white and blue. That's the way we designed it so that you'll know you're in auto mode. And let's see if we get a trade. Now, if this doesn't close down, we're not going to get a trade, so it doesn't matter because bar close is looking for a bar close down. So let's see if we get something. And if this turns off, it'll be because we're in a different session, and Object Trader realizes that from over here. See this session line? I just purposely chose, after midnight. I just fast forwarded this thing right here to where it got past midnight because we just want to see it past midnight. All right, because I don't trade this time of night. To me, that's fair to show in the room. Okay, where would we put a stop, John, on your question? Well, you got a little swing right here, right at midband. See the little thrust retrace? Even on this larger bar, there we go, we just got it. All right, now notice there that in the auto mode, this actually got me in more contracts. Okay, now notice that this is still on because I'm in auto mode. This will go to 5 contracts. Okay, that's the one thing you want to be careful of in auto mode because see, there's 4, there's 5, and now it won't go anymore. Okay, everybody see that? Okay, notice how quickly and nicely this did an auto trade like this. Okay, it hit resistance exactly where I said it would. And by the way, if you were in the room this morning on that gold, I'll show this gold that I called this morning because anybody that was in the room will remember where it was. And it was diagnosed exactly the same way on the chart, except the opposite. We were looking at long on that one this morning. This is a short. What told us this was a short, by the way, somebody just asked? Red background. Okay. It had broken your what we call lightning 3. So what are you waiting for when it does that? Well, it broke this lightning 3 over here. You're waiting for a pullback. And what did it do? It pulled back. So see, here's your break of lightning 3 down in here, and it comes back and kisses resistance. Okay, and you get this nice rollover. Yeah, gold can be an excellent one to trade, actually. Now, very few of you probably actually do, like that many contracts, and we're not recommending doing that. But see how the auto trader will do this? Now, watch if I do. Let's just take 2 off, and I'll show you this auto trader will actually kick in again if we go lower. See, short is still on. See, there's one more. Notice how that did that? I hit a target, but with this still on auto, this is going to continue adding contracts until it hits a maximum of 5. Okay? Now, I could protect this thing now. I could put my stop like right there, for instance, on that swing. See it right there? And I'm safe by doing that, especially if I turn on exit on close. Okay? Let's see if this goes down any further. We'll find out. I'll speed it up just a little bit just to see. There's your 5 again. There you go. Monster little trade it turned out to be, didn't it, with a bar close feature like that? Now, like I say, I'm not advocating anybody doing that many contracts, but if you were to close this trade out right now, you just got yourself close to 13, a little over 13 and a half. Let's see, do you have to hit insert like a box trade? No, John, you don't have to. Bar close is just simply bar close. That's all it is just bar close. Okay. In auto, though, it'll fire however many contracts. For instance, let's just close this out and I'll show you. Let's do it with 2 contracts instead. If this goes down any further, that is. Let's just see if it fires. Because it'll fire 2 at a time now because I've got it set on 2. Now keep in mind that what I did is I just killed a good trade because I want to show you this feature. You know, this is not so much about teaching the trading of it, although that worked perfectly, as teaching you how to use the tool. We'll speed this up a little bit again. Notice that's in auto mode, so it's going to do automatically 2, 2, and 1. Watch it. If we get a bar down, there you go. You got 2, there you got 5. See there? You don't go over 5 because the software won't let it. Okay, because we've got the max set at, well, our max was set at 5. Okay. Pretty good little move down, isn't it? Mercy be. Everybody see that? Now, you can also, let me show you how to scale out of this thing also. What if I decide, you know what, if this bar closes up, I'm going to take 2 contracts off because I don't really like this with 5 contracts, because if I get a 20-tick pullback, that's a $1,000 bill. So if I get a bar to the upside, maybe it's double bottoming there a little bit. Maybe I can take some off. And quickly on the fly, I can even change it to 3. Well, I missed it. But see how that went to 2 contracts off of that? That easily. Because I just used it to scale out. Okay? You notice how we were scaling in with auto. Now you can also scale in with manual, but you just have to keep turning this on. And I recommend, you know, using more the auto on the little bit larger bar if you're going to use the auto. Okay, because a little bit larger bar is not going to get you, well, let's just see what the 4 range looked like real quick. That's gold 4 range. Where are you at? Gold 4 range right here. Okay, this is the 4 range. So see, it did the same thing. It hit the resistance area that we talked about. Okay, right over here to the left. It hit it and kissed it perfectly. But if you would have done bar close on this one, you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 right off the bat, and then you got a bar up, and a bar down. So using a little bit larger bar will ensure that you don't get, you know, in too many contracts at one time, because they don't always do this right here. Okay. But this is definitely a pretty good way to trade. I like that bar close feature a lot. And you can actually use it, you know, just like I taught the region last week. You know, bar close can be a very good little trade. Now, let's see. Mindy was asking about a 1, 2, 3 reversal. Okay, let me show you what that is, Mindy, on your question there. Let's say that you drew your area, and by the way, let me draw it so you'll see that we knew that was resistance. Let me draw a line, that one. There we go. All right, notice, whoop, I keep hitting the wrong button. There we go. All right, notice that this is actually the high, the low, the lower high. When was this the lower high? When it took out this low. When is this the lower high? When it took out this low. All right, when is this going to be taken out back to the upside? Only when it takes this up. Did it take it up? It kissed resistance and it rolled. Okay. Now, how do you trade this though? Let me show you. Let's look at a 1, 2, 3 reversal, because I like 1, 2, 3 reversals pretty well. But even a 1, 2, 3 reversal, you got to be a little bit careful of, because, you know, that's still not a lot of ticks. Okay, think of a 4 range bar. A 1, 2, 3 reversal could be as small as, you know, 7 ticks, something like that. Now, notice that it kissed right here, right where we had drawn our line. Okay. And so a 1, 2, 3 reversal is actually to where you're getting a bar down. So let me just draw it for you. You're getting, on a short that is, you're getting a bar down. So let's do 1 bar. You could even have a bar up. Let's say that it opens just a little lower. something like this, something like that, okay? And then you get another bar that does something like this. That would be a 1, 2, 3 reversal, because it actually, you know, bar up, a bar down, and another bar down would actually do that. Like right here, to give an example, okay, let's say that you waited for the little retrace right here, or you even got in down here, you know, we waited for the little break. So here's your reversal right here. You have a bar down, a bar up, and a bar down. So you have to break that third bar. So bar down, bar up, bar down, break this one. Okay, and you broke it where? Well, you broke it on that bar right there, because that one closed down. Okay, so then you got you a nice little trade. All right, that was a little 10 ticker. Now this one, when it changed background though, okay, where we drew our resistance over here, this is your 1, 2, 3 reversal here. See your bar up, bar down, takes out the low. See that right there? That's a bar up, a bar down, closes below the third bar back. That's a 1, 2, 3 reversal. Okay, let's see. How did you get it to shift to scale in, Jeff, on your question? The way you get it to scale in is just simply either use the object trader. Well, I mean, it is on the object trader totally. You use the bar close and you just put it on auto to scale in, or you just turn it on several times. Let's back this up and I'll show you. Let's go back to right about this time, about 1 o'clock, just for the fun of it. I'll show you how to do that. Now we're doing this one a little bit more in hindsight, but let's just do it anyway. Let it go ahead and load. That's 1:09. That's a little bit late. Let's go back to midnight. Bear with it just a second. Oh, come on, you're not responding. Bear with me just a second. I'll get Linda to get that. Bear with it just a second. We're trying to get this to work on this chart. Give it just a second. What I'm going to try to do is show you how to get in this trade with using the object trader. All right, you're right there right now, right? So let's go to object trader. And let me show you how to do it manually, if you want to do it manually. Let's make sure we got 5 still. Okay, 5. And what we're going to do, there's another little resistance line right there. All right, then you just turn on your bar close and you turn it on short. Okay, if this bar closes down, you would get in one contract. But watch, this will turn off because we're not in auto mode. Okay, let's see it. Bar should close down. We know this because we already did this, right? But I want to show you how to use the tool. Just about in. One more tick. Okay, notice how that went off. Okay, now if you wanted another bar without being on auto, you just simply turn it back on. That's how you would do it manually. Okay. Christine had said that some charts were froze for about 5 minutes. I apologize for that, but it wasn't on my end. That was weird. Okay. Well, sorry about that, but sometimes GoToWebinar does that on their little buttons. It just happens very occasionally. But everybody saw what I was talking about just then, though, right? Did you see the 1, 2, 3 reversal, Mindy? Let me go back and show it to you then. Let me just show you what I was talking about. Remember, we drew our line on our chart. So a 1, 2, 3 reversal is right here. Remember, we drew a line on our chart with lightning. Let me just draw it again so you'll see it. All right, there's lightning right there, right? Okay. So if you have a swing here that's identified, okay, if it comes back and kisses it, see where that line is that I drew? I drew that ahead of time because that's the way we teach how to trade this. All right, so if you saw that, and let's get rid of the line. Now, if you were looking at this and you said, okay, it's trying to hit my line of resistance right there, could you look at a 1, 2, 3 reversal? Well, you have a candle up and a candle down. Okay, see here? So if you draw a line right there and it happens to close below it, like so, that's a 1, 2, 3 reversal. Everybody see that? Let's see, our version doesn't turn off the SE right now, correct? That is correct, Kenneth, but your version probably by tomorrow or Wednesday is going to be as updated as mine. I've got one more thing that he's working on, and we'll have that. Because what Kenneth is talking about, if let's say that you had a bar close, let's just go ahead and do it. Let's say that you had long and short enabled, okay? Well, if you get a bar close down, long still stays on, so that would negate your trade if that bar closes up. See there? If that bar closes up, that would kill your trade to flat. Well, we want that to turn off automatically. Okay, so it will on this very, very next version that's coming out. Okay? Any questions on that 1, 2, 3 reversal? And I apologize for the screen freezing because it does that occasionally. If you just load something and Ninja gets slow, that's what happened, and it froze the charts. But I covered everything I think that didn't get covered in that 3 or 4 minutes, I'm hoping. Okay, everybody see how the 1, 2, 3 reversal worked? You want to look for some more and see if you can figure out where the next one is? Yeah, one canceled and the other is the OCO. And keep in mind that with even bar close, to give an example, that in auto mode, we're going to have it still to where if you have auto turned on, it'll go both directions if you want it to. Okay? See how you can move those out of the way real quick. I love this trading system. I love it. Let's see if we can get another. Let's just see if we can figure out where the next trade is, just for the fun of it. And we're going to use bar close if we get there. Let me draw some lines. I see resistance right there, and I see resistance right there. We've now had a little thrust down, right? So let's see if we can get another trade. Always be on the lookout for another trade. Because I'll bet you we'll get one. You want to bet? Because I see this 10,000 times all the time. You can see these trades. Here it's coming. It's going to be right here at this line. Now that's if it doesn't break up above this wick swing, right? So if you were seeing this in real time, could you be ready for a bar close type trade? And the answer is yes. Okay. So what I'll do is I'll wait. It's got to come up there at least to there. We're not there yet. You've got to get a retrace. Don't go chasing thrust trades. They'll eat you up. Okay, let it go ahead and retrace. It'll retrace. Now, if you're going to chase this type of trade, I'd highly recommend not just boxing it in this close because they'll probably fake you and then pop back up. That's what they do all the time. Okay, let's see if we can get a little retrace, and we'll find out. I'm going to speed it up just a little bit. Came to that one, need a little ABC. I think we missed it unless it comes up to that line. I think I missed it. That's all right. Didn't quite come to my line right here, and I had it going like 100 times, so I just missed it. Okay, let's see if we can find another one then. We'll just see if we can find another one. We're looking for a mid-band type trade. This is actually pretty good right here if it comes up to that line. I'm going to take a chance on that with one. If it closes down, there we go. Is it going to work? We'll find out. You want to add one? It did hold resistance right where I drew my line, didn't it? I'd put my stop just above that swing, actually, just in case, and probably on exit on close. See how that kicked in an extra contract? We can do it again as far as that goes without turning it on auto. You just simply keep turning this on if you want to. Now keep in mind that this could be all she wrote on this trade too. We'll find out here in just a second. But we got our stop in, so we don't care. I'm going to go ahead and tighten my stop just in case. Don't like the way that's flopping around on that. Pretty sideways, actually. There we go. We got something. Double bottoming, wouldn't you know? Still okay. Look at that. And then put your stop just right above that swing right there. Exit on close. If it takes us, it takes us. We don't care. Is it going to take us? We'll find out. How does everybody like the idea of being able to use like a bar close type trade even on an auto? That's turning into be a pretty good trade. Stop still right there at the swing. Now keep in mind you could take some of these off of here, obviously, because that is kind of double bottoming right there. You know, could it take us out? Well, it could. We'll find out here in just a second. Didn't. Not yet. Not yet. How about that? See how you can trust these lightning swings? See how I draw my lines on my charts? You know, it just hit that predictor right there. It's trying to roll over again. This thing's really heading down pretty nicely. So you could move a target out of the way, move another target out of the way. Just keep going with bar close, couldn't you? Definitely a pretty good way to trade, isn't it? Now, keep in mind that on a little bit larger chart, let me just show you the little bit larger chart because you can actually get some pretty decent trades with those too. Let me just get the larger chart with Object Trader Ranko, and we'll try it instead. And what we're going to do, since it's a little bit larger bar, we'll go ahead and do a bar close down. And see, it's a little bit larger bar, so that bar is going to be a little bit more of a down. There you go. See there? And if I wanted to add, I could add on bar close. Got my stop in. What a monster. Some of you were probably up all night trading gold, I bet you. Let's see, can you show the settings for the Ranko chart? Absolutely. Dennis, on your question, let's go ahead and move this one target out of the way. The settings on the Ranko, if you go to data series, I just used the 3, 6, and 2. If you want a little bit more of a reversal, that's going to have at least 6 tick rollover, and that's also in relation to the previous bar to it. So if you look at a reversal bar, it's going to be around 8 ticks, I think. Let's see if we can see one. Right here's a reversal bar. If I can get it to draw. Right there. And right there. So that's 1760 to 1660. Not quite. It's 1 tick difference. There we go. It's 9 ticks. Looks like to me is 9 ticks on that one reversal bar. So see, even though it says it's 6, it also has to start the body next to the previous one, remember, and 2 ticks down. Because if you look at it on your data series, see, it's going to do a base period value of 2 and a rollover of 6. So what this is doing, this wick, and then it has to start the body next to the next candle, 2 ticks down, and then you get the low of the close. That's where you'd enter it. Okay, wow, look at that trade go. What does everybody think of that little monster? We didn't even move our stop, so we didn't get taken out. We would have been taken out and we would have gotten back in. Okay? Now we've been going for about 40 minutes, so does anybody have any questions on a bar close or how to actually get the bar close? How to add on with the bar close? How to scale out with the bar close? And how to even reverse with the bar close if you want to. Okay? You can even do that. For instance, if you get down to, say, a really good predictor, to give an example, and lo and behold, that's actually our open of the market right there. You want to take a chance and see if we can get a little trade? We'll see. This is hitting a predictor that's way out of the way. So that's probably more than likely like a fib retracement or something like that. And if this doesn't work, it doesn't work. But let me show you how to reverse this trade if you want to. Let's say that I wanted to reverse 2 contracts and go long reversed bar close. If that bar closes up, it will buy to cover 1 and buy 2 more, is the way that works. Now, I'm not saying this trade is going to work. I want to show you how. If we get a reversal bar. There you go. Just got it. Okay. See, that reverses the trade. Now, did we want to reverse the trade? Well, maybe. It did bounce off predictor. I'd probably tighten the stop, though, just in case. That turned out to be pretty good. I can tell you this. There's a trade setting up on this chart. Let me just show you. I see it. Thrust, retrace, thrust. Where is our identified swing on this chart? Anybody? I'm going to kill this trade. Anybody see it? This is at 9 o'clock in the morning. So basically this is after this huge run down. So what would it take to change directions on this trade if we get a double bottom type setup? Would it take breaking this right here? What do you think? Would you trust that? We called that trade in the room this morning, by the way. I don't know if anybody remembers it, but I called that trade. Charles was looking for it. We were both looking for it, and it was a monster. Nice little trade. Okay? Why would we take that trade, by the way? Your lightning swing is right here to the left. If it takes this out, you're pretty much heading up. Now, this is larger bars, so I'm not looking as much at 4-range charts. Okay? If I look at my 4-range chart, let's get the 4-range gold. All right, let's kill this real quick. If we get the 4-range chart, you'll see the trade even better. Because anybody remember where we said to box this in? We had a line drawn right across here, and we said box it in at mid-band. And even talked about if it busted it, don't let it go back against you and take the trade. If you don't reverse, does it happen at market? If you hit reverse, does it happen at market? Yes. Yes, it does. Now, let's say, for instance, that you're seeing lightning right here and you want to, do like even a bar close down. This is actually retracing a little bit while I just missed it. So I'm not going to do it. I wanted it right there if it took out the swing. But if you hit reverse, it does fire a market order with your broker. Okay. Now, I'm going to show you another trade that we called in the room this morning too, and we drew the line ahead of time. Anybody remember it? Also draw on your charts because I drew this line this morning right here. Everybody remember it? So did we get a trade here at mid-band? When you don't have a swing higher, you can always just put your entire target right at the top. That's the trade we called this morning in the room right there too. Okay, let me fast forward this. I'm going to show you something. Because in real time, this actually did happen. There's your target. Now watch this come down to this line right here. Not quite, is it? There it was right there. I just missed it. Everybody see it? I've got it going like 500 times, so to hit it was almost impossible, but I got it. Everybody see that? We called that trade in the room right there, and it happened to do exactly what was said it would do. anytime they haven't checked a swing, they will check that swing. At some time or another, they will check that swing. Okay, notice that this just busted straight up. That's when Charles and I this morning in the room were going, dang, look at gold. Anybody remember that? But what always happens when you get a thrust like that? They're going to come down to where they broke out. Now, does that mean you can't take the mid-band trade and get 20 ticks? We took that trade. We called that trade, but I also called that one. That was a phantom trade. Did that phantom trade turn out to be a good trade? And of course, obviously, the answer is yes on that, right? So what does everybody think? Could you possibly see that you might be able to use bar close? Matter of fact, this trade's late, but look at that. You had a bar down, a bar up, a bar down, a bar up. There was your 1, 2, 3 reversal right there on that bar. Would I take this trade right here? Probably, if I even see it touch that line. We also called that trade in the room too. There it is right there. It just hit it. And I'd put my stop nice and tight just in case. Okay? This is how you can use these bar closes, and you can also see how easy it is to see with lightning where your trade is. Okay? Because, you know, to give an example, when this busted this little swing right here, what's the rule of thumb on lightning? You have a low, you have a high, you have a higher low, you have a higher high. That swing is established. That's exactly like this right here. Let me just get a fresh one of those. I got that one drawn all over. Bear with me just a second. I'm going to get a fresh one. There we go. All right, everybody see that? That's that same thing right there. What did this do right here? This thrust up above, it pulled back and kissed. It thrust up above, it pulled back and kissed a little lower even, but it still holds the swing. It thrusts up above, it pulls back into support. You can see that time and time again on all kinds of charts. And that's how in that room we're able to actually teach price action and do a very, look at that, a very good job of making sure that our people stay not only nicely green, but some of them make, you know, not only hundreds, but some of them thousands a day. Let's see, when it busted up, what about those 4 blue bars that would make me think it's coming back? Where was it at, Robert? When it broke out, with the few blue bars on the pink, don't you consider that coming back against you? You're talking about, oh, right here? Right here? Where that kind of came back a little bit? You know what I look at? Oh, you can't see it. Sorry about that. You're talking about right here, where it came back a little bit under phantom? Okay, but keep in mind on phantom, you wouldn't have taken that trade because you're looking for a 1, 2, 3 reversal and box it in. So you never got your box to break. See, it never went down. Okay, but it did go up. But why did we take that trade in the room this morning? Anybody? Because I can show you why. And if you see this, you'll start seeing trades like you've never seen them before. Okay, let me go to the black chart and show you what that looks like on gold. Bear with me a second. I'm going to get rid of predictors. I'm going to get rid of the pencil. I don't know why I've got a pencil on here. Bear with me a second. Okay. If you draw your lightning swings, I'm going to go ahead and draw it, and then I'm going to show you the chart. But you got to see this first. Bear with me 1 second. That's probably good enough. That didn't draw exactly the way I like to draw it. But see where this came down to 1330, okay, on that one? Now, that was actually after the thrust, but what did it do over here? Okay, let me show you something. If you look at this right here, you had a high, you had a low, you had a lower high, you had a lower low. Draw it with lightning 3. Just like that. Now, where is the swing that was the identified swing? High, low, lower high. When was this a lower high? When it took out this swing right here is exactly when it became the identified swing, okay, because it took it out. So this is an identified swing to the left. When does this trade start breaking to the upside? When it takes out that swing. Now, a lot of times it'll thrust and it'll pull back and kiss, and this one literally didn't. You went up nice and high, okay? Now, look where it came down to, though, once it did break out. Everybody see that? I drew these lines on this chart right on these swings, and look where that came back. Now, from there, where do you think it went? All the way up, right? If you draw on your charts and you start really seeing these lightning 3 swings, you know, see them in your mind, but also draw them on your charts, it'll definitely make a world of difference on your trading, okay? Let me check something here real quick. I want to make sure my lightning is correct, because that doesn't seem correct to me. Could be just how fast it moved. Yeah, it's 4 range. And that's 415. Yep, they're right. Okay, let's see. It seems like it would almost be easier to trade with lightning instead of candles. You know, John H., on your analysis there, if lightning would draw in real time, you know, which I could actually have the programmer get it to where it would draw in real time, because the way lightning draws is it has to have a thrust, a retrace, and a thrust. Okay, so to give an example on your lightning swing, you have to be able to see it in real time to ever trade it like that. Okay, and I'll show you what I'm talking about here. This is what, 2 o'clock in the afternoon? We're already almost 6 o'clock in the morning. Bear with me a second. Let's go over to the right. Bounced. Okay, like right here. See, you're not seeing anything else right now, but let's draw lightning 2 from up here. See, lightning 2 is right here. Okay, so you have a high here, you have a low, okay, and you're stair-stepping up. So this is what I consider to be an identified lightning swing. Anybody want to check their charts and see where that probably came down to? I'm sorry about that. Somebody calling in. Let me kill this phone just real quick.
Call from 14.
There we go. It's dead. Batteries do wonders. Okay, so this is like 12:16 in the afternoon, right? Now, where do you think this is going to actually come back to get a bounce? Anybody? 12:16 in the afternoon on gold. They come down to these lightning swings, don't they? And they do these beautiful jobs of just heading back the other direction. On your question, though, let's see, John, if we could get this to where it would draw before it makes a swing, then we could actually trade it that way. And this does clean up a chart quite a bit, okay? You can do the same thing with your oil chart. Let's just look at oil real quick. Bear with me a second. Find oil here. Here's oil. Let's look and diagnose it where it's at. What's the trend? Anybody? Anybody? You see a trend on that chart? It's up, isn't it? So what do you think as far as pullbacks? What do you think? So this is what, 12:06 or so in the afternoon? Let's just see if we can figure out where it's going to pull back to. Anybody want to try it? What do you think? Where do you want to draw your line? This thing is really headed up big time, right? So let's see if we can draw our lightning swings. We'll draw lightning 2. Bear with me a second. Lightning 2. Why aren't you drawing lightning 2? Lightning 1 then. It must not have been a swing there. I'll try to draw it from here. There's lightning 2 right there. All right, see, that's up at 69.20. Okay, you're at 69.20. Now, where would your stop be on that trade? Anybody? If you look at this, this is stair-stepping up, right? Where would it quit stair-stepping up? Well, you have a low here, a high here, and a higher high. So this is your swing that's identified right there. Now on the right-hand side, you have a high, you have a low, you have a lower high so far. So when this is broken, this could actually even head down, looking to the left to trade the right. Okay? So if this was to decide to head down, for instance, you'd be looking for a break of lightning, wouldn't you? You want to see if it actually does. It's hard to say. Let's find out. The thing was really heading up, wasn't it? There it's breaking. It's breaking. It's breaking. Breaking. See? Kiss and resistance. See there where I drew my lines? Now, what color is the chart right now? We'll find out. Look at that. That's actually breaking down. And could you have caught that with lightning swings? And again, the answer is yes. So now that it broke down from here, where would you be looking to get into a trade? Let's just see if we can figure it out without prices on the chart. I'm going to draw some areas right here. All right, let's see if it gets up to this area right here in this area and rolls over. Now, we won't be exact because we don't have our mid band and all that, but let's see if we can figure it out. Let's see if we'll just fast forward it and see if we can get it. Oh gosh, I just ran out of data. I ran out of data. Sorry about that. I don't have any data past 344, so this must have been after the market close. Anybody look at your charts and tell me if they kissed this area right here and rolled over? Anybody at all? Because we don't know, but do you think they did? Well, let's see. You had 69.11 here, so you did short, under here, right? Now, where would they actually kiss? They'd kiss here, and they did. So it's still heading down, right? Okay. And let's see if we can figure out where else that it might do its thing. What do you think? Well, we can't get any data, so it's going to be hard to do. But I would say that it'll probably break down. It'll come back and kiss this area right here. And it already kissed this area right here. And it could kiss this area right here. Anybody see, did it kiss 57 and roll over? It kissed and rolled over. That's what I thought. Okay. So you can actually, by just drawing on your charts, you can tell where these things are going to. Now, on a 4-range chart, it's a little more difficult because you're looking at little micro swings, okay? But if you learn to read them, just like I taught tonight, like this, then you'll see them, okay? And when you get a retracement, draw your little trend lines and stuff like that, take the trade. Bear with me a second. Draw your little trend lines. Like, well, it would have been down more through there. But anyway, take the trade when it breaks the little box. Add another one when it kisses, and off you go. And that's what they do. They constantly thrust, kiss, thrust, kiss, thrust, kiss. They'll do it on even the larger charts. This trade would finally end up back down in here, because that's right there on this particular Lightning 3. This would more than likely, if it was heading, would do something like that, and then it'd start doing that. And you'd be able to break the second it takes out that swing, and off she goes. Not necessarily linear like that, obviously, but you get the picture. Okay, that's what it does. Okay, I hope everybody enjoyed this tonight. What I wanted to talk about tonight was bar close, and we did that for great trades. You can actually use the auto feature on Object Trader to do those, and it works out really, really nice. Okay, you can get some great trades with our trade calls and everything. Look at this right here. We drew our line earlier on gold, and it's just about come back to it and kiss. We're out of data, so it's not going to do anything. but you can clearly see that it did actually come and kiss, and it's just amazing what this software can get you to see. Okay, so tomorrow morning, we're going to actually diagnose our charts in real time. You'll also notice that when I talked about Russell this morning, does anybody remember where I had said that Russell was heading up, not down? You've got to look at all 4 of your trends, okay? And if you were to draw a Russell chart, let's just look over that just real quick, and then we'll wrap. RTY, let's go ahead and do that. Now this is not, obviously now it's hindsight, but it wasn't hindsight in the room because it was called live. Okay, bear with it a second, I'll get it on there. Okay, there's Russell. All right, we're going to go all the way back to where our room is open. Okay, this is way into the day right here. How did we diagnose this chart at the time? Anybody? Anybody remember how we diagnosed this? Let's see, Russell about 8 o'clock or so. Remember we were talking about overnight, basically if you drew on your chart, you had a low right through here, right? Okay, now notice when you thrust up and you pull back, you had a support kiss and everything, and we're talking about higher lows as these things go along, right? Yeah, it was still along, wasn't it? Now it wasn't after 9 o'clock because we also called this trade, and I think we took this one here, if I remember right. Isn't that where we called this one? Was right in here at mid-band? I'm pretty sure it was. So the way you would have boxed that one in was wait for it to thrust down. This one pulled back too much and you didn't, you weren't changing trends yet. When we look at a trend change, when we get this red background and this mid-band changing colors, and then you look for that trade right there. And you got that one? Cool. And we also talked about this trade right here. Remember I said that Russell was not heading up. You could box it in. That was close to a phantom trade. All right. There's another trade. There's another trade. You could box in. I mean, they were all over the place. It even kept going down even after the room closed. Okay. Look at the same thing on YM and you'll see some other trades that were called real quick. Bear with it just a second. I don't usually change a chart. I usually draw a new one, but I did change that one. That's not a good idea to do, by the way. All right, let's go over here and look. Just at our room time. We're only open, for 2 hours in the morning. Everybody remember this trade right here? I even said in the room, we had a high, we had a low, we had a higher high. So we drew a line on our chart. Was this lower than this? So even though we took some nice shorts at mid-band and we got that double bottom, we weren't looking as much to go short as we were to go long, were we? And that's because looking at the overall chart, you had a high, had a low, had a higher high, higher low, and much higher high. And you can also tell when they're going to change directions. They'll usually break these support levels. See, break your support levels and then down you go. And what you're looking at is rollover trades. Okay, and we teach those all the time. Always make sure you don't just don't just go selling a break of support, because they'll break it by 4 ticks and then pop it back up. Where you want to short it is when it changes the background, a thrust, like Charles teaches all the time. Box it, you got a little trade. Box it, you got a little trade. Box it again, you got a trade. Box it again, you got a monster trade. Okay? And that's what we're looking for. Mid-band changes colors, you're looking for that type of trade. This never did a phantom, by the way, because you never boxed in, and then it changed green, and you got this trade. So there's trades all over the place, just constantly. Okay? And we box them in, and we don't get faked into little shorts until what? If this would have broken this support here, come back and kissed and rolled over, this would have been a short, but it wasn't. Where was your identified swing? Right down here, high, You have a high, higher low. All this did was just broke this support right here when it double topped. And that's what they do and fake people into shorts. And the smart traders are actually trading this right here and getting a monster move. And I don't remember if we called that or not, but we said we weren't taking it if I remember right, but I did say to box it in. Okay. Mindy, I've got to get a new code for that, but I'll have it first thing in the morning. It expired tonight, but I'll get another one for in the morning. You're welcome. Thanks, everybody, for coming. Hope you enjoyed it. And just remember, we try to keep building tools and teaching people how to see these trades in real time. I know we're easily in that 85 or 90% on our trade calls. All right. Thanks, everyone. This will be recorded. It is recorded, and it will be up on the website in probably 30 minutes.